So a lot of times we set these intentions around what we desire, what we want to create, what we want to manifest. But when it comes to the really big important things, we can try and try and try and things still don't ever happen. So today, what I want to explore and play with is actually connecting into the values of what it is you desire, what you will become, and the values underneath that, and then explore what archetype actually embodies those values, and then bring that archetype in and actually embody it and feel it within you. So today we're going to play with a quick little exploration and connecting into these archetypes. And thank you for joining me today. I'm AmyC with You Finding You. I'm an intuitive and transformational coach. And currently, if you look in the dialog box below, you'll see that there is a freebie that you can grab up around your body awareness. And it is tools, tricks, tips, techniques, different ways to start connecting and listening to your wisdom, your knowing, and start learning the language of your body. So again, do check that out and the dialog box below. So when you think about things that you really desire or want to create in your life, what are they? Are they around your house, your living, comfort? Are they around relationships, community, friends? Whatever it is, just think about it for a minute and then think about what is it that you've been really desiring in it. Like, what is the underlying thing, the underlying values that are actually in there? Because when you get down to those values, we can actually start really defining what it is that you want. Like, if you really want a big car that gives you status and makes you feel good, what is the underlying value? Now, status is not really the value. Yes, it might give you something there, but underlying that is maybe you want acceptance. Maybe you want to be seen. Maybe you want others to give you respect. So when you actually kind of tap into, oh, why is it that I want the shiny car? What is it in that? Then we can tap into the energy of being it. And then it's not about per se that car, it's about actually getting into the energy and being someone that can have those things. So take a second now and really think about what is it underlying that I really want in this. And if it's around having a relationship or having connections with others, those things could be around wanting connection. It could also be wanting to be seen or wanting to feel supported and feel certain ways. So again, tapping into what those things are, and you can always Google and look up what different values are to give you ideas. But also, I have a needs and values list in the dialog box below that you can grab up as well. So let's go ahead and jump into this exploration. And first, I'll list off some different values, and then we'll go into and see which different archetypes those values might correlate with. And then finally, we'll explore connecting into how that feels in your body. So firstly, what values are you really wanting, underlying what you really are desiring in life and want to create in your life? So it could be things like confidence, peace, abundance, creativity, safety, authority or being a leader, sensuality, joy or play. And again, just notice if any of those resonate or feel like what you are craving. And then ask yourself, if this desire, that value that you want, the desire that you were craving had an archetypal energy, what would it be? And notice what first comes to mind. What archetypal character, personality, whatever you want to call it, comes to mind. And I'll list off here as well different archetypes so that you can have an idea and then see which one does actually call out to you. So these archetypes could be a queen, a healer, a mystic, a warrior, lover, wise woman or man, creator or creatrix, or a priestess or priest. Again, just notice which one feels like the archetype of who it is that you really want to step into, and we're going to feel that energy. So from this place, we're going to go ahead and explore that archetype in ourselves. So go ahead and get yourself seated or standing. If you're standing, you can also get into a posture of who this character is, who this archetype is. And if you're seated, I also recommend sitting more upright, and so that you can really get into the character of being this. And then take a nice deep breath and let yourself just settle into being here. Breathing in, just noticing your body. How does it feel? Continue taking nice deep breaths. And we're coming from our thoughts now down into our body and just noticing how it feels. And you can notice where there's tight areas, where you're touching the surface beneath you. You continue taking nice, long, deep breaths. And then this archetype that you chose, think about how would they stand or sit. Like adjust yourself. So if it's, very sensual character, it might sit a little more promiscuous, or if it's a queen, it might sit more regal. Like just notice how their posture would be situated. And then how would they breathe? And how would they move through the world? So if you want to get up and walk around, you can walk differently and notice how they would walk. Notice how the whole body would shift and change. Where is their center of gravity? Do they walk with their pelvis forward or backward, or shoulders forward or backward? Just noticing how their posture is when they're walking or moving. And go ahead and take another nice deep breath. And say for myself, I want to step more into a leader role. And so I see myself as the queen. And it's like, well, how would the queen sit? Like right now I have both feet on the ground. I might shift and sit cross-legged one over the other, and then I might twist a little bit, or like seeing what posture says queen, what posture says leader, and feeling into it as well, feeling more grounded in myself. Like, would this archetype be more grounded, more centered? Where is their center? And I'm taking a nice deep breath, like a knowing, confident kind of breath. My shoulders are more open. So just noticing the posture of this character. And then, is this what you are like? Is this your posture? Like playing with it and seeing. Like maybe I sit around a lot, sitting back, and it's like, well, that is definitely not the same as being in the upright posture and openness in my chest, more confidence, and tapping into that more. So you can play with this and connect with getting into that posture so that you can actually be in the energy of this. So you can play with this and you can try out different archetypes and see how they feel differently in your body. And then remember different times throughout the day when you're out and about, when you're doing things, to just connect into that person, into that archetype, and shift into that posture, into that way of being, and then see how things start to shift around you when you are being more like that archetype. And eventually, more and more of that reality will come in for you, and more of what you desire you will be stepping into. And so this exploration really is helping you get around the beliefs that you have in your head of not, like, oh, I can't have this, or I don't believe these things are not like ever going to come into my reality. Because a lot of times what's happening as well is that we're wanting certain things, but then we don't believe we can have it because we don't have proof of it yet. We don't have, this reality of it coming into our life yet. So this is a way that you can see this is the value, this is the thing I really desire to have, and now let's embody what it is that I really desire. And you can start seeing how that will shift things around in your life. So thank you guys for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this today, do hit that like, share, and subscribe. And do comment below if there were things that you resonated with. I'd be curious to hear. And over in my community, there is links in the dialog box below for the Body Wisdom Way. You're welcome to come join us there, where we do more of these explorations, and throughout the week we have different ways of really connecting in and learning the language of our body and how it is really giving us guidance to where we want to go in life and what we want to do. So again, do check that out. Links are in the dialog box below. And thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.